Mogul Motivation, educating and empowering entrepreneurs 1 week at a time. Presented by True Stories Media. And I am your host, Antoine Twiz Taylor. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mogul Motivation. Welcome back. If this is your first time listening, this podcast is for the aspiring entrepreneur who is trying to get over that hump. This podcast is for anybody who wants to elevate themselves to success. Today is September 13th, 2017. As always, it's Mogul Motivation Wednesday. It's a gloomy, rainy day outside here in Chicago, Illinois, and the surrounding Chicagoland suburbs, which kind of reflects my mood. This has been a very rough week for me. I've been, struggling a lot this week, trying to find and maintain my inner joy as an entrepreneur. But as always, I push through it. And you're going to push through it as always as well. This is part 2 of a 3-part series that we're going to talk about this week titled Intellectual Property. This episode is subtitled The Construction. Intellectual Property, The Construction. So last week we talked about the blueprint, how you have to lay down the blueprint in your mind and basically get the ball rolling to start your entrepreneurial journey, to eventually leave your job, or to eventually use your business as leverage to find the wealth and financial freedom that you want to accomplish and obtain. This week, we're going to talk about the construction, the next part in that process. And personally, the only way that I knew I would be successful is if I became an entrepreneur. It's nothing against people who, work in corporate America and things like that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's plenty of people who have become rich and become millionaires, even billionaires, by working in corporate America, working in the executive suite. There are plenty of people who fit that category. However, that would never be me. I knew that would never be me because I could never function under a corporate structure, under somebody else's pyramid. I could never function properly to my full potential working a job or working a career in another company. That could never be me. I knew it. So the only way I would become successful is if I went into entrepreneurship. The only way I would become rich, wealthy, and financially free is if I went into entrepreneurship. So that's why I talk about these things every week, because if that fits you, if that's your story, I want you to understand that it can be done as well. So when you're at your job every single day, Monday through Friday, whatever your schedule is, 9 to 5, whatever hours you work, physically you may be at your job every day, but mentally you have to be working on your business. Okay, you have to be working on your business mentally while you're at your job, at least 50% of the day. Does that mean slack off at your job? No. But what that does mean is, in order to have that enthusiasm and to get through the workday, you have to be focusing on things that you really care about. You have to be talking and thinking about your business to yourself as much as possible. When you're on the job, when you're on break, before you go to work, when you get off of work, when you get home, you have to put in double time, overtime for your business. You have to write the business plan. You have to get all these things in place, because now you're constructing your business. You already laid the blueprint, but you're constructing your business now. How am I going to do this? How am I going to get this thing up and running to where I can really start to make money now? Now you have to put in that work. And this is a part it's many parts and stages of entrepreneurship that ultimately is going to weed out the fakes, the entrepreneurs. But this is one of those most crucial parts, because are you really going to have the discipline, the drive, and the fuel in your tank to work on your business and do all of these things necessary when you already have a job, when you already have something that's taken up 90% of your time? Are you really going to have the discipline and enthusiasm to go through that? Most people aren't going to want to do it. You're not going to want to get off of work 5 o'clock, commute for 30 minutes to an hour, get home, and then do a business plan or do whatever you need to do for your business. Most people aren't going to do that. They're going to slack off. They're going to put it off till tomorrow. Then tomorrow comes. They're going to put it off till next week. The next week comes. They're going to put it off to next month. Then before you know it, 2 years have went by and you're still stuck in the same position. You have to put in the work. You have to construct your business every single day, a little bit by a little bit. When you get a chance, go listen to a previous episode, When It's Time to Jump. Because I talked about some of these things just from a different angle. You have to really build everything from the ground up. No one's going to do it for you. No one's going to do it for you. So what are you building? Or what do you do? What you're doing is you're basically doing all of the practical steps to get your business legit. See, a lot of people, they jump into businesses, they come up with a nice name and all of this, but they don't never get legit. You have to get legit. So you have to decide, are you going to make your business an S Corp or an LLC? Are you going to do a sole proprietorship? Are you going to do a partnership? You have to figure out what legal entity you're going to make your business. And once you do your research and figure out which one fits you best, then you have to go for it and make it happen. All of these things cost money. It costs money to get incorporated. It costs money to set up an LLC. But guess what? That's money that you're going to have to prioritize and make it happen. You have to get that done. You have to get incorporated. You have to set up an LLC. You have to have a legal business entity after you have your business plan and everything set. You have to. Once you do that, then you have to get a website. It's so many easy routes to have websites these days, whether it be WordPress, Wix, GoDaddy. Get you a professional domain name and set up a website. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant right now because I know money is tight, but you have to get a virtual secretary. You have to get your website done. Then you have to get business cards. It's 2017. We're in a social media digital era. You don't have to go above and beyond for your business cards either. Just get some business cards with your company name, your company logo, your website, your name and title, and then that's it. You can put your email on there too, but you don't have to have all these fancy things on business cards. And when you do get your business cards, you don't have to pass them out to everybody because most people are going to throw them in the garbage anyway. Only give your business card out to people who truly believe in you, who truly want to do business with you or want to network with you. That's how you have to do it. Business card, website, logo, incorporation, LLCs, all of these things cost money, but all of these things are necessary. Trademarks. All of these things have to be done because if you want to be a real entrepreneur and if you want to grow your business from a small startup to $1 million business, you have to get tight. I see so many entrepreneurs these days who don't have anything incorporated. You search their business name on the business database in your state. You can't find them because they don't really exist on paper because they're just doing something. You have to get tight. Once you do all of that, you have to grind. Again, are you going to be willing to put in the work? Are you going to be willing to go to work? Then when you get off work, continue to work on your business. Continue to fulfill orders. Continue to grind on the weekends or your off days or when you're off work, period. You have to put in that work because nobody's going to do it for you. When I first started my business, I was working 2 jobs and I still had to put in that work. I still had to grow everything from the ground up. When I was working a job, I was at work, fulfilling orders, taking email requests on my break and all of that. It's not going to stop. You have to put in 80 hours a week just to get paid pennies. A lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people don't want to go through that because they're not going to think it's worth it. Sometimes I still don't think it's worth it. My business has grown considerably in 7 years. And sometimes I still don't think it's worth it, but I have to do it. I got to put in that work. Work ethic is a huge barrier for entrepreneurs. Everybody wants to be a success. Everybody wants to be a millionaire, but they're not going to want to put in that work. They're not going to want to construct everything brick by brick. They're not going to want to do that because it's not sexy. Continue to work, continue to build your business from the ground up. And then when it's time, when you have a legit plan, when your business is bringing in a nice amount of revenue, that's when you can leave your job if the time is right. But then again, it's never a right time. Remember? I talked about that in the episode when it's time to jump. It's never really a right time. The right time is when you have the faith and you're ready to just make it happen. That's the right time. And everybody's journey is different. It might not come right now. It might not come later. But it's going to come a time when you want to jump. Don't worry about popularity. Just because you have the most comments, the most likes, the most shares doesn't mean you're successful. Those are people who are caught up in the glitz and glamour, and they confuse popularity with success. Success is the person who's really putting in that work every single day that many people might not see, but they're generating revenue in their business. They're slowly but surely getting that ball rolling, and they're gaining financial freedom. They're gaining wealth. Slowly but surely. That's real success, ladies and gentlemen. People who are building from the ground up, despite all of the obstacles and all of the barriers that they have. So that's my message this morning. Intellectual property, the construction. You laid down the blueprint and now you're building. Every entrepreneur has to go through this process, and you're going to go through it too, and you will succeed and you will persevere through this process. So let's continue to work. Let's continue to imagine reality. And until next week, ladies and gentlemen, continue to construct every single thing in your business. Don't let nobody stop your progress. Have a great day. I'll talk to you next week.